Hello partners, my name is Tsegaye Engida. I am from KOICA Ethiopia office. I will be presenting you the fourth section of KOICA Ethiopia office country plan, which is climate resilient for future generation, a program designed with an attainment to support the Ethiopian government in supporting an economy which is green, sustainable and resilient. Having said this, let me take you straight to my presentation. My presentation will be covering three parts. The first is rationale for the selected focus area, recommended approach, and the result of measurement. To start with the national policies and the strategic direction, the program, which is entitled as Green Economy for Future Generation, has designed to address the national priorities in relation with the National Climate Resilient Green Economy, which is CRG, focusing on National Mitigation and Adaptation Plan. The second focus for this program will be National Forest Sector Development Program, which National RED Plus Strategy, MRV, and Forest Inventory will be the main focus. The third policy that is guiding this program will be Sustainable Land Management Program, and the fourth will be Watershed Management Program. Goal will be supporting the Ethiopian government in realizing 10 years National Development Strategy. With this, let me take you to the intervention priorities. In this program, we have planned to address two issues. The first is sustaining the agriculture through land management and water resource management, whereas the second intervention will be through sustainable management. We are set to address natural resource and ecosystem conservation. Now let me take you to the country's contextual analysis in this sector. As it is visible that Ethiopia is the most vulnerable sub-Saharan African countries with noticeable weather events such as extreme droughts, unseasonal rainfall, decline in agricultural yield, high risk of biodiversity, high temperature rising, and fall in precipitation. So as the chart shows that there are two major variables for implying this climate impact. The first is fall in precipitation and the second is high rise of temperature. So for these two variables happen and increase in the country, there are two major sectors contributing high, which the first is agriculture and the second is forestry. With this, let me take you to the problem analysis that we have identified before designing the program. The first problem is the problem that related with agricultural land. There are two major issues that is affecting the agriculture of the country. The first is land degradation. When we see the effect of land degradation on the agricultural sector of the country, agriculture contributes a lot to the country's GDP, whereas the land degradation is highly degrading the contribution of the agriculture to the country's GDP in 3%. In this major problem, there are two major components. The first is soil erosion. The country is facing from 18 to 20 tons per hectare annually of soil erosion, which it varies based on the land topography. The second is soil nutrients. As the soil from the upper level is washed, the soil for cultivation is losing its nutrients. And the second problem of the area is water resource. Ethiopia is a country which is losing 1,000 metric cube of water every year, which may lead the country to the physical water scarce. In line with agriculture, the country has a limited infrastructure of irrigation, institutional issue, and inefficiency of the modern irrigation is a major problem, even if they are very important to the adaptation measure of the country. Coming to the third intervention area, which is forest resource. Forest in Ethiopia is very vulnerable to human-made factors such as agricultural expansion, livestock grazing, and the use of biomass for energy and construction purpose. According to the National Forest Reference Level, Ethiopia is losing 70,000 hectares in a year between 2000 and 2013. So with this, after identifying the gap in the country, we have set our recommended approach. For addressing these three areas, we have three components, which the first is sustainable agriculture and land management, and the second is sustainable agriculture and water management, and the third is sustainable forest management. So for each, we have set our recommended approach and the potential project components. To take you through one by one, the first is sustainable agriculture and land management, which we have set our recommended approach as sustainable land management, which is SLM, and the climate smart agriculture. For its potential project, which is going to be submitted to KOICA Ethiopia office for funding proposal, we have identified 4 priority project components, which the first is conservation agriculture, the second is soil conservation structure, the third is soil management, and the fourth is agroforestry. Coming to the second component, which is sustainable agriculture and the water management, there are 2 recommended approaches from our side, which the first is irrigation development and the second is water level monitoring. Under this, we have provided the potential project components as modern irrigation scheme, integrated water management, early warning systems, and disaster risk management planning. Coming to the last component, which is forest management, sustainable forest management, there are 2 major recommended approaches from our side, which the first is forest conservation and restoration, and the second is RED Plus initiative. Under this, we have set project potentials, which the first will be afforestation and reforestation, sustainable energy, participatory forest management, which is known by PFM as an official acronym for it, and MRV and forest inventory will be a big issue under this. Having said this, under the recommended approach, let me take you to the detail of output and outcome indicators for the program. The first component, which is sustainable agriculture and land management, we have set our measurement for our output and outcome, which is highly related with the SDG goals. For this component, an extent to which the soil conservation and the landscape restoration techniques are deployed will be our output indicator, whereas the outcome indicator will be degree of integrated water resource management, proportion of local land that adopt and implement local disaster risk reduction strategies in line with national disaster risk strategy will be the main outcome indicator in line with the SDGs. To take you through the second intervention component, which is sustainable agriculture and water management, we have 4 outcome indicators, which the first is percentage of developed policy with focus of watersheds, percentage of area of land developed in modern irrigation scheme, percentage of disaster risk management planning, percentage of enhanced drought, and the flood warning system will be the major key indicator for this component. Whereas the outcome will be measured as proportion of land that is degraded over total land area. For the last component, which is sustainable forest management, the outcome indicator will be number of hectares for forest coverage, percentage of supporting and encouraging forest, such as growing, removing incentives for deforestation, create integrated land use planning. And the last measurement under the outcome indicator will be percentage of biodiversity improved. Whereas the outcome will be measured by forest area as proportion to total land area progress towards sustainable forest management. And the second measurement for result measurement under this will be proportion of important site for terrestrial and fresh watershed water diversity that covers by projected area of the ecosystem. To this end, I would like to present my deep appreciation for stakeholders and the consultants that put their fingerprint in developing this country plan to the stage that we present today. Thank you so much.